During the last election, Greg Ferries ran for sheriff and lost because the newspaper said his image was lowered in the black community. And we're very proud to have had everything to do with it. The image is low because he is low, and we should see him and those with him, his conspirators, the black preachers, Reverend Cyrus and Reverend Charles T. Smith, and others, black so-called political authority, as the same. Not that anyone else was any better, but everyone now knows that there's a price. And cheap preachers like Cyrus and Smith, in spite of them all, many of them endorsed an open enemy, and black people saw straight through it all. And they do not now, and have not for a long time, appreciated the betrayal, backstab by some of these preachers, backstabbing their own people, tricking them into voting for a black-hating Greg Ferries. These preachers have no shame or fear of any black backlash because they've always gotten away. Their masters, the people who own the city, the people who run the city, the shock and awe group, they're mad now that Negro slave preachers, Cyrus and Smith, and these other pushover $2 Negroes couldn't deliver. So they're plotting now with some of these same slaves, some of these slaves in the mayor's office, the mayor himself, your black police chief, LaDuff. They're plotting now in this country where it's freedom of speech as long as you don't disagree with white folk. They're plotting. They, whoever they are, have taken themselves to visiting local media stations, wanting Farrakhan, us, off the air. Well, that's too bad. You're not my master, and we're certainly not your slaves. So what did you think our answer would be had you been successful at knocking us, knocking Farrakhan off the air? Off the air simply for telling the people the truth about you and how you colluded with the enemy of black people. The only people that don't like truth in a so-called free society is the guilty. As we push harder, the people will push harder with us against you because they are already sick of you. So-called black elected officials and these toilet full of preachers that sell out their own community. Reverend Cyrus and Reverend Smith and Johnson over on Winborn at Living Faith. We got to keep saying your name. We're relieving you of your prestige, the undeserved prestige you've been walking around with. We're relieving you of that, all of that. And all the preachers, dirty, low-down preachers, couldn't put Ferries back together again. And this is a good sign. The low voter turnout, disregarding known notorious liar preachers, the people are finally waking up. With all the Negro might in sellout city, none of you will ever win another election in this city if we have anything to say about it. We're here now, and we're going to remind you, and we're going to remind the people of every sin and every traitorous act you've ever committed against your own people. You're a butter cutter and a biscuit eater, no bark and no bite. You're a toothless traitor. We got a list and we're indicting you Toms the way your masters indicted Michael Vick and Jenna Six and Barry Bonds, Michael Jackson. Kip Holden, you're so embarrassing. In the next election for mayor, we don't care who they replace you with, because he may as well be white. You have done things that a white mayor could never do and get away with it. They used you to justify murder, and we'll never forgive you for that. What are we gonna forgive you for? You're not sorry, so we'll never forgive you. Put you in these offices so you can put a bullseye on our back for these illiterate hillbillies, just so they can get you back to the office and spit in your face. No way with you. In your re-election, you're gonna campaign against us and your opponent, and we ain't voting for neither one of you. That's what happened to Ferries. Brought out, beat out by a new jack on the scene with no history, because the people are sick of you. So it's gonna hunt you and LaDuff the same way it hunted Greg Ferries. You'll never win another election in this city if we have anything to say about it. And you are not black. You're just a white mayor with nappy hair.
Why would
You preachers, look. Don't frown. Girls Gone Wild is on. White Girls Gone Wild is on. 3 o'clock in the day, homosexual kissing on TV in front of your kids. Kids thinking they gay now. Why haven't you conspired with your sellout mayor and your sellout police chief and your sellout preachers? How come y'all ain't conspired and went down to the TV station on that? But you want us off the air. You want Farrakhan off the air. We gotta call you out like this, man. If you have a congregation when we finish telling these people about you, then you all deserve each other. If you scared, man, look, just say you scared. We don't have no protection from the police. We don't have no protection from the mayor, from the Justice Department all the way to Washington, D.C., and we think we gonna put up with you colluding with the police against your own people. George Temple was shot 5 times in the back, and that was a rally at Living Faith, Johnson's church on Wimborne, see? And Johnson waits till 2 hours before hundreds of people were scheduled to show up at his church for this rally. And he sends word, didn't even have the decency to come himself. It says that there won't be no meeting in here tonight. You cannot use the church for the meeting. Even though hundreds were coming, 2 hours before your meeting, you find that there can no longer be a meeting, all abrupt, all of a sudden, after all of this advertising. That's not a cancellation. That's a move by the feds, by the city planners, by the sellouts to squash black organization using faithless, spineless, conspirators, preachers from the inside. But we're not supposed to say anything to the people about this, right? We're not supposed to hold you accountable to your people for doing nothing like this, right? We're just supposed to be quiet and let you get away, right? People who do that are not sorry until their phone ring late at night because one of these hillbillies done riddled one of their children unarmed for nothing with bullets. They're ready to fight then when it's them, and they wonder where all the help is. Where's the black help then when it's them? And they may be quiet because their preacher tells them, well, we'll pray for you. Now go home and bring me some more money. My anniversary is coming up. These people like little vampires. Try putting them out. They'll tell you quick. Their name is on everything in there. If it is, you leave him in there and tell him to call Kip Holden and get the white folk from Bocage to catch some of these bills and leave him sitting in there. You've been played. You've been a victim of crime. You've been played by your own preachers.
when we were in Zimbabwe?